Hello everyone and welcome to the official SWGT YouTube channel. My name is Rune. It's been a very busy 2 weeks, so today we're going to take a look at SWGT Update 5.17.0 through 5.18.0, and so let's dive in. The first update today takes us over to a new feature called Dungeon Drop Analysis. So if you go under the Tools menu and you go to the new feature, you can see here that there is a drop down here for which dungeon you're looking for stats for, as well as an overall date range. The system will automatically default to today's date and then 30 days in the past. So for example, if we take a look at Giants, when you run the report, you can see that here are all of the rewards that you get on every single drop. It tells you the average amount and how much you're likely to get, as well as the items that drop, as well as the overall distribution as far as runes and symbols and rainbow mon, scrolls, and so on and so forth. And then as we scroll on down further, you can see rune sets, slots, stars, rune quality. And then I also have a breakout to show you which stats are dropping on slots 2, 4, and 6. So just a really nice feature. I have gone through and added all of the dungeons in the Chaos dungeon. And I've also added all of the bosses from D-Hole, and I've also added all of the monsters from Rift. And so Rift is a little bit different. It is based on your clear scores. So obviously if you do a Fire Rift Beast, you'll see that there are 495 runs done, and then here is the overall breakdown as far as what's actually dropping from that dungeon. Unfortunately, at this time, RAID is not available. The packets are encrypted by CompTOS as a part of their data lockdown last year, and so unfortunately, there's no information for RAID. I have reached out to my CompTOS rep 3 times now. I have not heard back from them, so no hopes at all there. But at this point, we do have a nice tool to be able to analyze the items that drop as far as which ones we should be farming, as far as which levels, as far as the overall rates, and then we also have the ability to see the overall rates change as things go on. Somebody did point out on Reddit that they are running a booster event now, which is also true. So rates are going to be a little bit different based on what people are picking for their runes and rune sets that they're actually trying to boost. And so as that event expires, obviously the rates will go back to the way they were, and so we'll have to see how things progress. If you are interested in contributing your dungeon drop logs, you can use the brand new plugin in the top right corner. There is a link out to GitHub. The plugin is public and it is open source, and it is 100% anonymous. So you'll go out to GitHub and you go to the releases section. You'll download the ASAR file and you'll put it into your plugins folder. It's basically that simple. Once you restart SWGT, that's it. The plugin is self-updating if you have SWGT 0.0.62 or better, and you have that option turned on. So as you open and close SWGT, it'll automatically update itself if I have any future versions. So it makes it nice and simple. So the more data we can get, of course, the better. So if you are battling with SWGT running, I would please ask that you would go ahead and download the plugin and start contributing your logs today. The next update line takes us over to the rune and artifact graphs. And so as many know, CompTOS has released a new rune scoring feature. And so user Z on Reddit was nice enough to send me a Google Doc that has all the formulas. So I have gone through and added it all in there. SWGT will be updating today. I will be adding the new scores, and then I have to run a job to go through and calculate all of the old scores on all of the rune history. So for those of you that have been with SWGT for a while, I have written a script to go through and backdate all that so you can see it all. So let's take a look on how it looks. And so when you're on your rune or artifact graph, if you go to filter and you change your graph type, you'll pick the new rune score. You'll see now that that is graphed, and you can of course go through and compare that with your history. So if I were to say, take a look at that versus September 1st, you'll see that I have a slight lift. And so the new rune scores from CompTOS are different. I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think it quantitates the overall runes efficiency as well as rune efficiency has for all these years. But I think that they wanted to add something in game so that way people can have a basic understanding of whether the rune is good or not. Essentially what the scoring is doing is it's finding out what is the current roll with gem on each line and comparing it versus the maximum that it currently is. It takes all of that, adds up all the numbers, adds up as well as the innate substat, of course, and then it has a multiplier of 0.35 for all of the flat stats, and then it takes all that number, multiplies it times 100, and then rounds it up. It's a weird calculation. It doesn't really quantitate as good as rune efficiency is. But again, when you're in game and you're running on a mobile phone, it's a lot easier of a calculation than rune efficiency is. And same thing goes for artifact. Artifact has the same multipliers, although instead of multiplying by 100, it's multiplying by 125, which is absolutely bizarre. So that feature is now in SWGT as well. It is, of course, over on the artifact graphs as well. Same menu item. If you go up to the filter and you change it over to the CompToUs artifact score, you'll see that you'll have a different graph than what was there for the artifact efficiency scores. While we're here, if we hover over one of these features and click on it, I have gone through and updated all of the rune and artifact previews. So now it'll show you the quality, the runes or artifact score, and then the efficiency of that artifact and or rune. I have gone through and added backgrounds in too, so that way it matches more now closely to what is in game. So that was a lot of UX work as far as making artifacts look and feel a little bit better, and then trying to squeeze in 3 lines of information for the quality of the rune, the artifact or rune score, and the actual artifact efficiency was obviously a very big challenge. So it all works. It looks good. Let me know if you see any issues. Going back to our rune graph actually, and we go to the filter, I have added a brand new metric, which is the maximum efficiency potential for a rune. And so what this actually is, if we go to rune detail, for example, and let's say I scroll down to, and I pick a rune that doesn't have a gem yet, you'll see here on the gem options that there is a maximum efficiency of 130.7% if I convert this crit rate line over to an HP line. Now, obviously, that's probably not the best use for this rune. It makes a super efficient rune, but then it kind of makes the rune unusable. With a crit damage rune, you're looking for obviously attack, crit rate, and speed. Probably accuracy, all depending on which unit is of course there. Obviously, it's of course better to get accuracy up in the innate area, but going through and gemming out 10 crit rate for HP, while it makes the rune super efficient, it's not a good use for this rune. But in general, it is a good idea and a good concept to see, what is my maximum potential versus where I am actually today. And so if we go back to the rune graph and we change our graph type over to the maximum efficiency potential, you'll see now that I have a new, it's actually a dotted line, but it's like an orange. I didn't want to choose red because it's not quote unquote redlining things, right? But it's kind of, and red line on the guild graphs is the lowest. So I wanted to have it a slightly different color so that way it made sense. But so this is kind of more of like a burnt orange. I have it dotted, and it is taking all of your runes and showing if you were to regem them, that is where you could go as far as the efficiency goes. So if you actually click on this, you can see here again. Probably a very similar thing. If we take a look at the gem options, it's probably taking, in this case, it's taking speed out, which actually might not be a bad trade-off, right? Removing speed, obviously running with a booster of sorts, might not actually be a bad idea, and it gets the rune super efficient, which is obviously fantastic. While I'm here, also you can see all of the new rune previews and all of the new scores, so you can see all the scores that would be in game too if you had gone through and gemmed that. This new maximum efficiency potential is only available for SWGT personal players. It is not available for SWGT personal subscribers or SWGT guild subscribers. So it does require a lot of calculations. The first upload of your player JSON will take an extra 10 or 15 seconds because it is that many calculations. Essentially what SWGT has to do is every single rune has to run every single permutation for every single line. And obviously that's a lot of calculations when some people have 3,000-4,000 runes. So it requires more compute. So that's why I am putting it in that tier. But in general, I think it's a very nice new metric for us to start looking at. Somebody had recommended it in the SWGT Discord, and so after talking it all through, it made sense. Again, I would caution people, don't always take it for face value, right? You don't want to gem out things that you actually need on the rune for it to actually make sense. So this is more of a guide than a hard line that you should be following, but definitely a new metric that makes a lot of sense. The next update line takes us over to account analytics and go to account summary. And I have added a new section for crit damage. So everybody's score is going to drop probably, But I was talking with Dylan over in Mithril, and he mentioned that we didn't have any of the combined stats on the crit damage side, which made sense. And so I have only added it to the attack main right now. It'll be available for attack, defense, HP, and support. The defaults for all of these will be one quantity, and the minimum percentage will be 22% combined. Obviously, you can go through and you can go into your setup, go under my profile on SWGT Personal, and you can go through and do setup. And you can come down here and you can tweak your settings. It is of course up to you on how you go through and tweak your settings. You can have them go up or down. You can set them equal to 0, whatever you want. If you don't see this section, just a casual reminder that you have to toggle off use defaults. And on the SWGT guild side, it'll obviously be under your setup menu, under guilds. And then if you click on edit, you can go down here. If you haven't already customized your artifact scoring defaults, you can go through and obviously do that. And last but certainly not least, if we scroll all the way back to the top and we go to tools and we go to catalog, there was an issue where the snipers were showing multiple sets of skills. And so if we go into, for instance, Carcano, it was showing him multiple sets of skills. Now, it has him transforming as far as data-wise goes, which is technically wrong. Maybe Come To Us had him transforming into a different unit before with a different set of skills, and they have consolidated it since, and they haven't cleaned up their mess. But in the end, I have gone through and made the fix for the snipers. The same bug was actually there for the gargoyles and the robos. So all of those transformation bugs are fixed too. Again, if you see weird things like that, of course, please let me know. I'm happy to make a fix. And that's it for today. I just wanted to say a thank you to all the Patreon members who subscribe to SWGT and to all the people that constantly give feedback about the platform. It's only through your support and efforts that SWGT is what it is today. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. We all make SWGT better together. And with that, don't forget to smash those like buttons, and I'll see all of you on the battlefield.